My guys, today we're talking Call of Duty, specifically some Season 1 pre-release news put out by the team and through Dev Talk. They gave us some more information about the Season 1 roadmap, and we also talk a little bit about the tweaks that they made after the beta going into the release of Black Ops 7. After that, kind of just chatting a little bit about the state of the franchise in general, not just Black Ops specifically, but Call of Duty as a whole and Warzone itself. Look at that, you made it to another one of my videos, and I do ask if you can please like and subscribe to the channel so you can support me making these videos because I love doing this. Be sure to check out all the other socials connected to my channel, like the Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and the Twitch, which is where I'm streaming. I'm streaming to Twitch and YouTube, usually once or twice a week. So stay tuned for those and future videos. Enjoy. Peace. All right. So Treyarch came out with a update, I would say, about the roadmap and Season 1 announcements. We'll go through the roadmap after this. Based off of these announcements, it looks like Season 1 is going to be pretty big. They say that themselves, and the maps that they're releasing, the weapons, the zombie variants, and then the future game modes that they're presenting, it looks pretty good. So I want to kind of watch through this and see what I'm thinking about it. It's Dev Talk. So hopefully one of many
for us as it kicks off the entire chapter. From launch through the end of Season 1, we'll have 7 6v6 maps. We'll have 3 new zombie maps, a bunch of new weapons, gear, gadgets. This will be the biggest season we have ever done in franchise history.
This is like, it's bigger on launch than it'll be for the Season 1 launch. So the game itself has like 16 maps, 2 different tactical maps. I think the game will be big on release, not just waiting for Season 1, considering they're releasing Nuketown like a week after that too.
So before we get into Season 1, I can say that Nuketown 2025 will be coming shortly after launch on November 20th.
We're looking at our remastered version.
People are waiting for this. It's the holidays, you know, get the LTMs going.
Let's take a look at one.
It's like a classic look on the old Black Ops 2 one.
This Menendez compound in Nicaragua was in the Black Ops 2 mission Time and Fate. This map is a play on that and the fate of David Mason and Menendez through the Black Ops.
I am interested to see how some of these maps will actually play during comp, you know, CDL stuff, just because some of these maps are unique, and I'm wondering if any of these have any sort of like movement variants, kind of like how Gravity does in Black Ops 6. Having an ever-changing environment in a map will obviously change and won't make things consistent. Players want to see consistency with competitive maps.
It was based on the Black Ops 2 mission of the same name. And then we've got Utopia. This is an abandoned guild facility in Australia, built to house advanced research for Project Synapse. So from
this definitely looks like a map that could have been in BlackPs 2. I like it. I don't see anything else about it.
We were really aiming to get some connectivity to the upper lane while still keeping those sight lines in check in the middle.
Additionally, coming out of the beta,
Toshin was pretty fun, I thought. I think the changes that they're making to have the connection from the center map to the upper portion that was originally cut off is going to be kind of important for the flow of some gameplay. Otherwise, it's just going to be hell.
Our entire launch portfolio and then our post-launch portfolio for additional opportunities where we can reduce automatic doors without disrupting gameplay. And of course, I have to mention some of the remastered.
Dude, I'm sorry. Get rid of the doors. Whether it's manual or automatic, get rid of them.
We've got coming in Season 1. We've got our beloved Standoff, which I can't wait to get back
to
Grandma's house. And we've got Meltdown coming. Haven't seen that one
for
13 years.
It's been a minute.
We've got a ton of content coming out from launch throughout the holidays.
I have a thing to say about that later on too.
Coming out. I got to give a big shout out to one of my favorite assault rifles, the Maddox, coming back from Black Ops 4. We've also got some fun weapons.
Is the Maddox something that is needed? You know, Maddox was fun in Black Ops 4. It wasn't anything crazy. Kind of reminded me of like a, I don't know, it's kind of like a commando kind of a gun. Wasn't super insane, but it was just, you know, pretty consistent.
It's coming like the crossbow and the ballistic knife. And if you know, you know, there's a game mode that does require those 2 weapons.
I did make a video about some party game modes that will release sometime in the future.
We've got Prop Hunt coming. Of course, we've got
Sticks and Stones.
Coming.
gun
I'll give
game,
you a
prop
little
hunt?
bit of a hint. We've got a
All of
brand
them.
new score streak coming called the Deadeye drone.
That's just scratching the surface for multiplayer content. We have a lot more details.
Deadeye
coming
drone.
before
What could
launch.
that possibly be?
three
Like an
maps
advanced
that are gonna be
UAV
coming
kind
in
of thing,
season
like a
one.
Black Hawk?
Right off the bat, we're starting with Survival XO115, which is one of the 2 locations in Ashes of the Dam that are kind of the furthest out. We're also going to be featuring
Ooh. You know, that looks like it wasn't like a gun. It was like it was a map that projected in Prometheus. So this is kind of like an observatory.
a brand new round-based map, which is out of this world. It's one of the coolest maps I think we've ever made. And then at the mid-season, we're going to be bringing another survival map, which is based on the Cosmodrome location from Ashes
I like
of the Dam.
aesthetic maps are
another
nice.
Location that's harder to reach in Ashes of the Dam that I think is going to be a really fun, tight survival space. Featured this giant rocket ship that's getting ready for launch.
I mean, if you can kind of recreate Ascension a bit, man, dude, you remember when Ascension came out? That was one of the best weekends and the best weeks of all time for zombies maps releases. And also, if you can create something similar to Black Ops 1 launch, that'd be, I think that was the map, what it was called, you know, have the rocket shoot off in the middle.
So in Season 1, we'll also be bringing in all of the seasonal field upgrades and ammo mods that were featured in Black Ops 6 Zombies. So things like Lightmens, Mr. Peaks, and Frost Blast will all be coming, and you'll be able to earn an additional major and minor augment for all of those, as well as unlock a second slot. So a lot more things to kind of discover and experiment with. So also in Season 1, we're going to be bringing multiple holiday limited time modes to Zombies. They're both going to be featured.
I think it's one
in
thing Call of
the
Duty does
new
really
map
well on
location that I can't
is
disclose yet.
creating
There's
like
also gonna be
limited
other
time
limited
modes,
that come out, later in the
and
season, but we'll have
map
more detail on
variants
those later.
during the
We're bringing
holidays
the
and
biggest
special
content
events.
plan in Call of Duty history to the live seasons of Black Ops 7. This includes a bunch of changes for Warzone that we'll be sharing more about soon. And of course, with global progression, your time is rewarded wherever you choose to play. We are not taking our foot off the gas. Season 2 and all of our other seasons are going to be huge.
I mean, it kind of has to be. They're releasing 18 maps, multiplayer maps, right off the rip. You know, we played like 4 or so of them, 6 of them during the beta. And then they're coming out with the 3 remasters, Express, Hijack, Standoff. They were paying a little homage to Black Ops 2 because this is essentially what Black Ops 2 is back then. What Black Ops 2 was to most of the fan base and the player base today. Think of all the CDL guys. A lot of them did play the old Black Ops games, and those are some of the first games that they got into. And so they shaped the way Call of Duty is today. And I know people are thinking, oh, well, some of those games wouldn't hold up now if you tried to go back and play them. I mean, it depends. It doesn't have the same type of movement, doesn't have the same type of guns and the same type of weapon tuning that the weapons have now. And the TTK was different. Everything was different back then. That was the game that people started with. And that laid the foundation for the rest of the games. So I wouldn't even be surprised if they added in, an Ascension type of map to Zombies later on. Black Ops 3, for example, added so many extra pieces of content post-launch. They dropped the best zombie map pack of all time. They had everything in it, from Black Ops 1 all the way, World at War, everything, all the way up until Black Ops 3. Now, I haven't been playing a ton of zombies throughout the last few Black Ops games, but it is still fun. It is something to go back into every now and then. Campaign, sort of forgotten. People used to love playing the campaign. I think the state of Call of Duty is in a hit or miss spot at this point. I think the fan base specifically is just like chomping at the bits right now, waiting for something to, remind them of what was good. And there is a double-edged sword with that. It was good back then, but do we need to keep having the same type of thing from back then now? But also, when you've mished and mashed everything from to what it is now, you can't even tell what it used to be. I think a lot of the devs and the studio listened to a lot of people's comments with the beta coming into this. They've released a bunch of new updates to gameplay specifically. Like they added ADS while sliding, diving, wall jumping, louder footsteps, slide tuning, perk distribution, changes like the different combinations kind of moved around a little bit, faster mantle speeds, aim assist adjustments. They are really listening to the community now. And why is that? You know, if you go back and look at when some of the older Call of Duties came out, a lot of people will say that the peak of gaming, at least back in from Xbox Live, PlayStation 3, around then, was around like Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 1, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, right? Now, why is that? I think it's because there was good competition out there. So some of these studios, like Infinity Ward and Treyarch, actually gave a shit back then, listened to their fan base, saw the different types of games and the other games that were out there, and they wanted to put something, you know, unique and to their own brand. Now, because a ton of actual brands and other games like Fortnite cater to this microtransactional type of, you know, format, they've really strayed from the original storyline of what is Call of Duty. And Call of Duty has always been this gritty boots on the ground thing. I've always said that before. It is far from that at this point. And so constantly people are giving them feedback about, hey, get rid of the skill-based matchmaking. Everything was good the way it was, and everyone fucked it up in Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2. So everyone blames Infinity Ward. Infinity Ward did their own thing, ignored the community for the most part. They always brought back fan favorites of like maps and, you know, I don't know, maybe some guns, but not really. Gameplay was still pretty hard. So going back to what I was saying about like the competition of the different types of games out, think about when Modern Warfare 2 came out. What games had just come out at that time? It was Mass Effect 2, Halo ODST, which in turn Halo 3 multiplayer got a revamp on that, and then Halo Reach came out subsequently like a year later. GTA 4 had been out for quite some time. GTA 5 comes out years later. You had Battlefield Bad Company 2, I believe, which was a great game. Introduced the whole environmental destruction thing, and people loved that, you know? I did. And guess what game is out right now that people are gravitating to because it feels different, feels a little better. It's a different type of gameplay, and it kind of brings them back to an old tactical warfare, Battlefield 6. So with good competition, I think Call of Duty, you know, Treyarch specifically, they may or may not be hitting the pull out the stops, hit the nuke button, you know, where we got to be like, all right, this is a fail safe. We need to reduce skill-based matchmaking. We got to listen to them about the aim assist and some of the movement issues. We got to bring back some of these maps. We got to make the game feel like it used to feel. People want jetpacks and jumping off walls now, so let's bring it back in there. I guarantee you the next game that comes out will be a spitting image of Black Ops 3. I'm not opposed to that. I liked Black Ops 3. Now, it did take some time to get used to, you know, the wall jumping and everything and the jetpacks, but I think people are at this point ready for that. So coming back to my point about what is the state of Call of Duty, it's whatever the state is of the rest of the games that are coming out. If there are no other good games coming out, Call of Duty is just kind of taking a back seat and seeing how long they can just create half a game, and then a year later people are going to buy the other half of the game. It's kind of not this slop, it's more of this, you bought a DLC and you're going to continue to buy a DLC for $70-$80, and you're going to continue to buy battle passes and everything, and nothing's really going to change. In Black Ops 4, when Blackout came out, people were like, oh my god, look, it's the closest thing to Fortnite, but it's Call of Duty, and people like that, you know. Blackout was great. They changed it to Warzone. Warzone and Verdansk had an amazing reception and an incredible first year or two. Things always change, and that's fine. But now people are looking, what can Warzone do to make it feel like 2020 again? Now, I think that time has come and gone just because COVID is not here anymore. Everyone is not sitting behind a desk playing games or watching them play games. So people think that because they don't get the reception for themselves that the game is dead. They are making changes, though, to Warzone. So I've seen today, at least, is they're probably going to be adding by next year a rotational map system for Warzone. As Warzone has gone throughout the years, it's always just been one map of Verdansk or, you know, a Resurgence game mode, or, you know, it's Rebirth Island. It's always just been one map. Now they're going to maybe add a variant of a smaller version of multiple different types of maps and then have it just rotate instead of it just being just one. Most of that is kind of like a server issue, and how can they carry that and make it so that they have the same type of experience as if it were a normal single map release. So if they figured it out by now, or they've expanded their reach, great. I think the players are going to like that a lot, especially if they get to choose maybe. To be honest, a lot of Call of Duty has come down to players wanting to just sit back and just play the game that they've always played in the past. And a lot of that has changed a little bit with the skill-based matchmaking. In the beta, they opened it up a bit and they got rid of it in one of the playlists, and it was good. Every single person probably picked that playlist at that point because they're like, shoot, I want to have a better opportunity to play in some good lobbies and then some shitter lobbies, because everyone now and then wants to have some shitter lobbies, whether you're actually good or bad. I mean, like, to each their own. I don't want to come home from work or school sometimes and have to lock in for another 8 hours or a couple hours when I play. I was just locked in at work. I don't need to keep doing it at home. Now, unfortunately, Halo isn't coming out with anything good, and they've recently, Halo's given up on their competitive scene. So until they come out with a new game or a new variant, that's gonna, be done. So some of those Halo players are looking to come into the Call of Duty scene. So can Black Ops make a statement for future Call of Duty games and potentially expand the CDL to some extent, invite a new fan base, a new player base to come in and play a game that is worthwhile? Since if Halo's not going to be there, Battlefield's making a resurgence. I hope they do well. That game is good. I don't have it and I haven't played it, but I've watched hours and hours and hours of it and understand how good of a game it is. I did play the beta a lot and it was fun. So I'm hoping that, I'm hoping for the best upon release and the first season and the season, forthcoming. So we'll see how it goes, but I'll hold my expectations at bay a bit just because I don't want to get too hyped up for something that will inevitably be the same thing that happens every year, where I get hyped, play the game for about 2 weeks, put it down, don't touch it until 2 months or a month before the next game comes out. So I'm hoping Treyarch makes the change and makes some influence to create a new path for Call of Duty was, and will be in the future.